Greetings, greetings, my wonderful people. Happy Venus Day. How you guys doing? I'm here with another video for you guys. Oh, I should begin my channels or begin my videos with a little welcome. Welcome to my channel. This is Mercy L, also known as Empress, your sister. Here to bring you guys some more essential information on you. Today, well, it's after 3:01 right now. Today, I choose to make a video regarding the seventh house. I'm going to do a series on the houses and the signs that rule these houses. So, if you guys want, just press on your sign so you know exactly which house your sun sign or whatever planet your sign is in. You just push on whatever and you can get a better understanding of that house and that sign and what your strength is as that sun sign or as that moon sign or as that Venus sign or as that Mars sign or as that, as we go on and on and on and on and on and on. But this video is going to be about the seventh house. And we all know, I have to say that because my whole chart is ruled by Venus. So I'm basically Venus. I'm basically the seventh house. I'm the seventh house talking to you right now, basically. But that house is what rules Libras, being a Libra rising. So seventh house is all about relationships, partnerships, business relationships, communicating with another person, one-to-one communications, basically. And depending on what sign, everybody has their own charts and how it's configured or whatever. Depending on what sign is in there, it will show how you communicate or how you respond or express yourself to another. Right? So that seventh house represents relationships, business relationships, marriage, and all those things, right? So I'm going to talk about the seventh house. Speaking of the seventh house, you know that me being a Libra rising, my seventh house is in Aries. So in relationships, more of, or I would say, I attract a lot of Aries personalities or people with a lot of Aries placements in their chart. So in relationship as well, with Aries being in my seventh house, that would mean that in relationships, I'm an Aries, basically. This is how I behave. I'm more of an independent type of person, and I'm more of a self. But at the same time, I'm also my personality Libra rising, and that shows that in my ascendant. So even in my other video, I was saying that the seventh house represents the other person, right? And how that person will balance you out because you may lack certain things in that as well. But for my chart, it's a bit different because my seventh house is in Aries, but I also have my Jupiter in my seventh house. So with that Jupiter being in the seventh house, that is what shows. Jupiter shows that that's what you're very used to, or what would I say, you have a lot of knowledge in whatever sign that is. If your Jupiter is in, so my Jupiter is in Aries, so I would get or I would bring a lot of luck when it comes to Jupiter in Aries. So that's already in my seventh house. You know what I mean? So it's just a whole, I don't even like, my mind is like, I have all these things I want to say, but to put it all into one and I'm just talking from my head, that it's kind of difficult to do. But work with me, work with me, work with me. So the seventh house, I sort of went off in a tangent of myself. I shouldn't have done that, but seventh house rules Libras and Venus, and the seventh house is all about relationships and partnerships, marriage, business relationships, one-on-one, right? So Libras basically rule. Libras basically are the holders of karma, basically, in a way, because they have the scales, right, and the sword. The scales, Libras are very diplomatic in everything that they do. So they're very careful about things that they do, and everything that they do, it is with love, and it is from the heart, and it is of balance. So it's very hard to trick or do anything wrong towards these type of people, because these people hold the scales in their hands, and every single thing that they do in their life is it's like if something is done wrong or done in an indecent way, that person's scales would sort of tip, and when it tips, that means like it's not a balance, it's not being done correctly, you know what I mean? So Libras are all about relationships and partnerships, and they are ruled. This house is what they rule. This house is what they are perfectionists in relationships. So my advice in anything, like if you have any sort of problems, I'm not saying that Libras are perfect when it comes to their own life, their life. They Most of the time Libras have to be balancing everything in a way to make things balanced. Their lives are never perfect. Libra rising, my life isn't perfect for sure, but I know that I'm here to balance out things into my life. That's my purpose. I'm here to balance things out, and a lot of situations in my life are balanced, not in the way that I choose for it to be, but it is balanced for the higher good. But at the same time, Libras do get their justice. Libras are justice. Libras is justice, basically. But seventh house, relationships, Libras, we rule that house. That house is basically Libras. What else should I say about Libras and the seventh house? The seventh house, yeah. If you look into your chart, and you get your time of birth, you would see your ascendant, and then you would see your seventh house. And if your seventh house most likely would be in the opposite sign from your rising. So because I'm a Libra rising, my opposite is Aries, so that's the opposite. And if you know how to put the opposites, you know the opposites, right? So that opposite would show you who you would do best business with, um, how you communicate in partnerships as well. The seventh house is a good house, and I know that all the houses before the seventh are mostly personal houses, but once you get to the seventh, that's when you start looking outward. Seventh to 12th, that's when you're looking outside of you. But from first to sixth, I believe, it's all about self. Once you really look at it, because we know that this first house is self, second is money and possessions, third is communication. These are all personal things. Communications. Fourth is home. Fifth is creativity, children, center stage. Sixth is work and health, right? And then you get to the seventh house, and the seventh house rules outside and also yourself at the same time. It's like how you communicate with others. So that is my little video on the seventh house. I hope that it made sense, but I know I ran off in a tangent. I may have to do this video over. I think I may have to do this video over, to be honest, because I think I might go to the 8th. Alright, guys, give thanks. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. More love, more life, prosperity. And keep it clean, keep it good, keep it right, keep it tight. Alright, guys, take care.